Hey folks, it's Maxwell here and welcome to a brand new TW9 video. Into December 2025 now, and we're into the second week of the Continental Classic. It was a pretty good show last week in terms of getting the competitors in, getting their first matches, making them have their statements, and setting up a wee kind of idea where we're going with a few other things. We will take a good look at a few stories that will begin this week that maybe had foundations laid, but yeah, overall, I'm hoping, as I say, the idea of the Classic is to try and get as many people over as we can that maybe weren't quite there, to give us a bit more depth in the main event instead of having to resort to the same old kind of people. So hopefully that'll happen. So yeah, let's sit back, relax and enjoy another week in AEW. So we're in the Pensacola Bay Centre and we start off with a decent whale brawl that saw Mark Briscoe defeat Swerve in 1504 with the Froggy Bow. So Swerve not having a great start to this tournament and Mark Briscoe having a fantastic tournament. So the wrestling was a 68, the crowd a 69, and the segment as a whole was just a 70. So the wild brawl would suit Mark Briscoe. It wouldn't, well, I'd say it wouldn't suit Swerve. I think he did have like 70 plus for brawling, so it's not the worst in the world. We just did a day where, unfortunately, despite them having both good chemistry and lifting the match, both of them were off their game. So I think we could have maybe saw this one be in the mid 70s. But just one of those days where it didn't click. The rolls were bad with RNG. But yeah, Briscoe is one of those guys that's going to come out that's looking really, really good. And he picks up the win. And I feel this matchup in 2 off their game is ironic with the start of the next promo. Because Bryan Danielson comes out and he says, what a great match that was. A true showcase of what AEW is in 2025 and will be going into 2026. Hopefully, as you can see, as your new AEW World Champion, that I'll be going into 2026 as champion of just a matter of World's End to clear. I plan on holding this belt for as long as I can. I know that every match could be my last, and I want to put on the best wrestling possible at an elite level. Then Kevin Steen comes out. Oh, here we go again. Same old story, Brian. Hey, let's put on lots of great matches. Better let the crowd cheer for me. Oh, just shut up. I'll make this short and sweet. I want that title. I want the money that comes with that title, and see, to be honest, I really just don't like you, so it would be my honour to slap the taste out of your mouth and retire you for good. The next pay-per-view is World's End, and I would like to end your world. So, laying the foundations for the World Championship, Kevin Steen wants it, and an 83 segment there, their storyline advances, Brian looked good, Kev benefits from a hot catchphrase. We then had it confirmed that this Saturday night on Collision, Walter will be in attendance, and we will find out who his opponent for the International Championship at World's End will be. That was at 75. We then had a decent matchup here that saw Hook defeat Big Bill in 5:44 with the Red Rum a submission victory. Just a quick storytelling matchup gives Hook some positive momentum. This segment was at 70. We then hear from Paul Heyman alongside his clients Ricochet and Ua. And Paul Heyman says that Full Gear, the Lucha Bros stepped up and the Lucha Brothers failed. They realise that they are not of the level of Ricochet and Ua. 80 days, 2 title defences, and that third defence will take place at World's End. Who's going to step up? Who is going to think they're a better athlete and a better unit than these two? I mean, please, not happening. So FTR, Hurt Syndicate, whoever the hell, so a lot of them in this tag division, make sure it's your A game before you step up to these two. So no specific comments about the segment. It was a 76. We then had a matchup that had a decent reaction from the crowd, but terrible wrestling, as Megan Bayne, fresh off her injury, defeated Thunder Rosa in 8:27 by submission. These two didn't click, which really affected their performances. And then Thunder Rosa compounded it by being really off her game. So a 32 for Thunder Rosa, yikes. 55 for Megan Bayne, and a 50 segment overall. This led to some words from Gianna Daddio alongside Megan Bayne. She says, I give you 1 week to digest the news, but Daddio is all elite. I am here and you will watch me. I have aligned myself with one of the best powerhouse wrestlers in the world of any gender, and together with my skill set we can take over this company and I can beat anyone. And I know there's a lot of women in this roster that I haven't locked up with, but I can't wait to fight them and beat them. and there's nothing that you losers can do about it. And then Giona does that evil laugh. So she just confirms that she is all elite. She's aligned with Megan Bain, and their segment got a 77. So good stuff there. Next up, we had some great wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. Zack Sabre Jr. defeated Kushida in 11:45 by submission with the Crematation Lily. This was our Steal the Show matchup. These two had pretty good chemistry, which lifted the matchup. A 72 for Kushida and an 89 for Sabre Jr. The storyline that Sabre Jr. is in, the big giveaway there, has advanced with the segment, which was an 80. Now he says, it's time for everyone to start taking notice and remember just who the hell I am. I came here to be elite, I came here to win championships, and I came here to make people tap out. I'm calling my shot to the biggest dog in the yard, Samoa Joe. I want that TNT championship. So it was loaded last week that was going to be the case. 67 promo from Zack Sabre Jr. Their storyline advances and gains heat, as we'll try and build that one up for World's End. Back to the Continental Classic, a wild brawl that had some great wrestling and good heat. Darby Allin scores a victory over Rush in 13:38 with a coffin drop. These two brought a 80 segment overall. Rush bringing an 89, which is fantastic stuff. El Toro Blanco. What was the negatives here? Just the short length and Darby's physical condition. So yeah, these two, solid stuff. Then hear from Athena, who says, so it's been confirmed to me by Jason McKay and Scott D'Amore that winning the Fatal 4-Way last week means at World's End I will get a chance at the AEW Women's World Championship. This has been a long time coming. I worked my ass off in ROH, carried that brand, that company, and I held that Women's Championship for a long, long time. But Mercedes, in 4 weeks, I'm coming for you. Remember, we have only battled here once before in AEW, and it was for a TBS Championship, and remember who won that day. Mercedes comes out and says, Athena, how cute. You make me laugh. This championship is going to stay around the waist of the CEO for a very long time. Last year was a fluke, plus this year I've got my Monet Corporation, my best day Bailey, and I mean, what the hell do you have? It's just that loser Billy Starks. I am the standard of this women's division, and it's a standard that you can't reach. So their storyline advances and gains heat, a 71 segment, and yeah, we're running it back from Full Gear last year when they were battling for the TBS Championship. They'll be going for the Women's Championship in a few weeks' time, which I believe puts us to main event time in the Continental Classic, which I think is Will Ospreay and I can't even remember who the other guy is, so we'll find out now. Jay White, that's right, because Jay White wants to say some words before the matchup takes place. Last week didn't go to plan for either of us, but tonight is my redemption, my chance to eliminate someone that I know very well. You see, well, we go way back to the day of the New Japan dojos. Not gonna lie, can't remember if they two were aligned together. Didn't watch New Japan back then. I'm just going with it. I watch Wrestle Kingdoms every so often. I'm not gonna kid on that I'm up to date with who was fighting who at what time. We've seen and done it all over there, and now it's time to do it stateside. So it's guns up and it's bang bang, just like Will Ospreay's title hopes. So 82. Main event, Jay White, Will Ospreay in the Continental Classic. And it was about to have superb wrestling and good heat as Jay White defeats Will Ospreay in 23:20 by using underhanded tactics, meaning Jay White goes to 3 points, Will Ospreay stays on 0, which is crazy. The wrestling was a 92, the crowd 74, and the segment as a whole was an 84. The match suffered because of the lack of selling. You get that a lot with Ospreay matches, but that's fine. Let's see. I wonder if that's something we can maybe, as he gets older in game and his skill set evolves even more, if that can maybe obviously get away. If not, we just need to give him the right opponent. But yeah, great chemistry, boosted that a little bit. I'm assuming I just lack of selling him, but also physical condition. Alright, okay. So storyline wasn't a factor. But yeah, that was the show. Regions of increased popularity, I'm assuming that'll be kind of the lesser countries that we don't have a massively popular reach. But yeah, nothing in the light blues, but I would say a solid show there. Everything was pretty high across the board. And yeah, as I say, mostly Continental Classic. I could have put it in one storyline, but obviously I haven't, so we don't really get any of that. Maybe I should do that going forward. So that was that. Anything before I go and book Rampage? Oh, Excalibur and Shibata are hanging out. Let's jump over to Saturday though for Collision. So we're straight into a massive surprise on Collision, and we're here at the GAQH Arena. And Walter says, for 6 months I have defended this championship with honour, putting on great matches and getting great wins. Over that time, I'd like to hope that you fans appreciate the reason I come across as how I do. It is because I love this great sport and that this company respects that. I defended this belt in other companies in CMLL and New Japan Pro Wrestling because they respect it as well. A who's who has stepped up to face me and I've overcame them so far, but I need a new challenger, someone who's truly elite, someone to give me the toughest battle of my life. Someone, and he's cut off by Ilya Dragunov saying, familiar? Well, Walter, I am certainly that. You see, an offer that was presented to myself to become All Elite, and I thought, well, I've done well before, but what can I truly do on a global landscape where the shackles are off? You know how intense I am, how brutal I can be, and under these surroundings that only grows. Now, it would be unfair for me to say, let us battle right now. So, Walter, I'll warm up here in AEW over the next couple of weeks, but that title match will take place at the end of the year at AEW World's Ends. Walter versus Ilya Dragunov. So a 73 for that segment. Dragunov debuts his Unsbegar, however it's pronounced, gimmick. It was very good. Walter's next storyline, next challenger storyline has started with the segment. Walter looks good. It was a no-brainer. If I'd have got Dragunov a week or so earlier, he would have been in the Continental Classic, just the way his contract went. I did have a slight temptation to do an injury angle to get him in, but now we'll just put him straight in against Walter. Next up was a decent matchup. Adam Cole Baby defeats Anthony Bowens in 13-11 with the boom. One of the better performances from Adam Cole. That's probably suited his style with a 73, 64 for the wrestling, and a 70 rated segment. He says, can you believe in 2025 that people are writing off Adam Cole, baby? Unbeaten since July and 1/3 of the AEW World Trios Champions with my good friends, Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly. But what you've just been witness to is another great victory over a good up-and-comer in Anthony Bowens. But again, not my level. But I want every one of you stupid fans to take notice and every wrestler in the back to take notice because 2026 will be my year. Boom. So one of these better promos, a 79 segment there, as I say, in this save and my offline save, Adam Cole is someone I'm really trying to get the skill set developed and get him back to where he was. We then had a decent wrestling match with little heat. I had Wheeler Yuta defeat Michaloku in 6:47 with the Yuta Lock, a submission victory. 57 for the wrestling and a 62 segment. I'd say these two done pretty well considering the limitations of Oku with his injury and of course the time restraints, but Yuta, oh dear, we have got a lot of building up to do with you again. Negative save for his poor momentum and some inconsistencies. Backstage, we see MJF and he says, now that is what I call a performance. Excellent stuff by Yuta. He realises what a great wrestler he is and can be, and he turns around and goes, what the hell are you looking at? And we see Johnny Gargano. Well, if it isn't MJF and the latest group of guys that you've brainwashed around here, what is it, Yuta this time? So leads to MJF saying, don't you make jokes, you schmuck. The only joke around here is you. I mean, what the hell have you done here in AEW since you got here? Exactly nothing. You are mid. Gargano says, if I'm so mid, why don't we take that to the test? Next week, Collision, Gargano versus MJF. And he goes, can you believe this guy? You're on. So, basically setting up a matchup for next week, we will have Maxwell Jacob Friedman versus Johnny Gargano. Backbone storyline advances, MJF came across well, and Gargano like going off script. And it was a 79 rated segment. We then had a bout that had some decent wrestling and non-existent crowd heat. Mayu Yamashita defeats Gazelle Shaw in 8:35 with the Crash Rabbit heat. Storytell matchup. We're still building Mayu up here, and obviously you can tell by in-ring performances they're absolutely fine. It's just getting the overness to join that, and it was a 48 segment. This leads to some words and some verbals from Mariah May. on the subject matter. And she says, the Mariah May era is upon you, and you must once again bow down to your, this time, TBS champion. Now, I've been told, and it's a joke, that I have to defend this championship at World End. And who do I have to defend my championship against? Well, it's Mayu Yamashita. I think this promo was meant to go first, but I may have messed up the other one. So good luck, loser. You may be on a winning run right now, but the last time we battled was just over a month ago, and we all know who won. It was Mayday for you, with Mariah May picking up the win. So a 73 for that one. A good promo from Mariah. Into the Continental Classic Blue Collision Group, and with a wild brawl that saw some great wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd as Claudio Castagnoli defeats Sami Zayn in 13:06 with the neutralizer. They had an 81 for the wrestling, a 66 for the crowd, and a 77 segment. So, great chemistry obviously boosted the performances. I was limited to what I wanted to make the Wild Brawl match to be, and I felt like out of the matches this was probably for the best. Claudio's benefited for that. Claudio's benefited from the great chemistry. Sami, obviously, it's not going to match this skill set too much, but I feel if you give these guys time, I think you can get any of these easily. But yeah, Claudio with the win. We have a little backstage segment, and it is the Bucks alongside Hangman. And we start off with Matthew Jackson saying, listen guys, we can't keep getting on like this. Geeks like MJF and his crew getting wins over us. Yeah, not great. Nicholas then will say, yeah Hangman, this trio stuff isn't great at all. I mean, we're supposed to be the elite, goddammit. And Hangman follows up with, I've been screwed time after time by that lot. I will get my revenge, and we have to get a plan. They have 4 guys now. Hell, it's 5 if you count Regal. Maybe that's something we need to look at. So the backbone storyline advances. Matthew Jackson improvised well with an 83 segment. Your next Continental Classic matchup of the night had superb wrestling and good heat. And Kazuchika Okada defeats Kyle Fletcher in 13:54 with the Rainmaker. This matchup was designed to steal the show. So the wrestling was a 90. The segment itself only gets an 80. A 94 performance plays an 86. Obviously it's spectacular stuff, but under 15 minutes caps it, so that's why we only get the 80. I think these two could have maybe took us to an 88, but yeah, it's what Fletcher needs to be doing. These are the matches he needs to be having, and yeah, good stuff there by Okada. We then bump into Tony Storm, who sees Bayley. Why, look who it is. It's Miss Monet's sidekick, the Bayley Rosa. Rather Davina, aren't you? We shot star old name there. And she just, now listen, Tony, we haven't formally met here in AEW, but trust me, I am more than just a sidekick. I am a former multiple-time world champion, and here in AEW, I'll be champion again. Leading to Tony going, oh, even with Mercedes on top? So I just wanted to kind of tease a wee segment between these two, because I wanted to do a program between Bayley and Tony Storm, and that segment was an 80, which leads us to the Continental Classic main event for Collision. Superb wrestling and good heat. It was Kinosuke Takeshita defeating Eddie Kingston in 21:34 with a javelin kick. 87 wrestling, 76 for the crowd, and an 81 segment. Eddie was 79, Takeshita brought a 95. These two having good chemistry together. But yeah, Takeshita doing some solid stuff there. The overall show though only was a 76. I would probably put a lot of that down to there not being too much with the storylines. Maybe I really should, in all honesty, have the storylines within the Continental Classics, and I would have been fine, but that's not me being lazy. But yeah, it's a solid show. It's building up a few storylines. It's building up our Continental Classic. And yeah, we have a lost pop, so it's all good. So we'll see if there's anything before I go and book the B shows. Nope. Let's jump and see what happens in the week in AEW and look over the final the standings after week 2 of the Continental Classic. So what else happened in the week in TEW? Let's find out. CMLO had a couple of good shows. Collision was pretty good. People enjoyed that. Cody Rhodes is on loan to TNA. They've actually got someone that isn't from NXT. Tony D'Angelo has won the NXT Championship. So they had the NXT Deadline. He defeated Chris Sabin for that. And you're also getting Josh Briggs and Javon Evans defeating Sean Spears and Lexis King, just to name another matchup there. Stardom have offered the contract to the Starlight Kid, and she is Stardom Trueborn. So yep, no chance we're getting her unless handshake. So that might be a deal that we actually try and get her on a handshake deal down the line, because anytime I watch her, she seems to be incredible. Stephanie Vicure has won the NXT North American Championship for the women. This obviously started before she was went to the main roster. Eddie Thorpe, obviously Carol Fredericks, has saying that yeah, Chris Hero should be in better shape. Or not, he's just angry at people that aren't in shape, and Chris Heroes took offence to it. Fair enough. Anything else? Parker Boudreaux won the tag titles in BLP with Shane Sabre. And WWE are offering a contract to Hank Walker. I don't watch NXT, so I don't know who half these people are, but yeah, it's not something I'll be touching. Even though he's 27, there's a massive scope for development. Yeah, not for me. So, obviously, we've got him scouted as part of the NXT roster. College, you get 1.44 TV rating and 2.8 million viewers for Shockwave. Jeff Jarrett says that Anna Jay doesn't get it. And Sarah Del Rey says, will you us turning into a good worker? So, two more things to cover, and I'll actually start with the main roster, which is the Continental Classic. So, after 2 rounds of fixtures, you can see here, Okada has the perfect 6 points, the 2-0 record. 1 win, 1 defeat for Takeshita, Eddie Kingston, Kyle Fletcher and Claudio Castagnoli. And the poor start to AEW Live continues for Sami Zayn with, nothing. 0 wins. Not good. Dynamite. And look at those shockers at the top. Will Ospreay, no points. Swerve Strickland, no points from 1 matchup. El Toro Blanco Rush has 1 win from 2. Mark Briscoe has a 100% record. And Switchblade Jay White with 1 win and 1 defeat, and a perfect record for the Continental Champion at the moment, Darby Allin. So we'll jump to the show history. We'll have a wee quick look here at Rampage. 71 rated show. We had some words between the Power of Positivity, Kofi and Austin Creed, with Sammy Guevara and Daniel Garcia. That was a 67. Keith Lee defeated Evil Uno in a 55 before a promo from Keith Lee was a 73. Thekla defeated Arisa Nakajima, which was a 50. Billy Starks defeated Sario, I know I'm always going to pronounce that incorrectly, 67. We then had a beatdown from Megan Bain on Billy Starks, which was a 66. And your main event saw Daniel Garcia, Sammy Guevara and the Power of Positivity defeat Reynolds, Silver, Taven and Bennett in a 72 rated 8-man tag. On to Shockwave, and we had some words between the phenomenal AJ Styles and his protege Nick Wayne, which was a 65. AJ Styles and Nick Wayne defeated the Righteous in a 74. Some words and some discussions between Daniel Garcia, Sammy Guevara and Nigel McGuinness was a 62. Queen Aminata defeated Serena Deeb in a 66. Some more words from Anna Jay in a 59. Takuma Aroha defeated Camille in a 67. We had some words between Megan Bain and of course Gianna Daddio was a 78. Mike Bailey defeated Trevor Lee in a 68. Trevor Lee was bought to basically be in ROH and developed there, but wanted to come up, so we'll utilise him as an enhancement talent. We had some words from Adam Cole, which was a 73. And I was so disappointed these two didn't click, so I thought it would be a good matchup, but Gargano over Anthony Henry was a 61. So yeah, pretty okay week in AEW. We've got 3 weeks to World's End. In a position there where, we're just effectively getting the Continental Classic along. We're getting a few matches in the undercard. I think at this time of recording, I think I've got like 6 matches set in stone and a few others over the next couple of weeks. So yeah, I'll end it there. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Wee thumbs up would be deeply appreciated. And hopefully I'll see you next couple of days. I'll try and be quicker with the videos. There's going to be a run soon where I'm going to get like 2 weeks to just battle TW. So I'll be like so far with consistency. But yeah, I'm working out a lot and it's really taking up a lot of time. That's what it is. If you're just watching, much appreciated. As always, Fantasy Bookers on Reddit, Google Software Forums for patches, etc. twdv.com and bethebooker.net. Take it easy. See you next time. Bye bye.